These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Tuesday, July 2nd, and the Celtics have re-signed Xavier Tillman, bringing back the third big man, completing the trifecta. Already re-signed Luke Kornet and Neemias Queta, gave extensions to Tatum and Derek White, and now Xavier Tillman finds himself back in Boston. Brad Stevens just said, yeah, everyone, come on, we're going back. We're running it back, baby. The Sean McVay meme, run it back. And that's exactly what they're doing. Xavier Tillman, 2-year contract with the Celtics, as reported by Mr. Wojnarowski.
Xavier Tillman, rest of the 2024 Boston Celtics, I'll be there no matter what. Brad Stevens is just paying all of these guys and bringing them back. Now, this Tillman contract is a minimum contract. However,
yes,
with the CBA, with all the tax rules, they're probably paying $9 million a season to pay him the minimum salary, at least.
Probably, but they got to pay someone the minimum. So
no, they do. Like, it makes sense, but for him to come back is pretty cool. And I think Noah had the tweet where she was like, it says quite a bit about the camaraderie within this group that all these guys are willing to come back on cheap deals and play for the Celtics. Like, everybody and their mother is tweeting about how rare it is for a championship team to be able to bring this many pieces back. Usually when a team has that much success, guys have made a name for themselves and teams are like, ooh, that guy could help my team win. He helped that team win. He comes and joins our team. All of a sudden we have winning DNA. Well, there's not a whole lot of new winning DNA going around the NBA this offseason. Everybody's sticking around, and everybody that has been re-signed had a moment. Like Tillman had game 3 where he was in the game for a short stint, but he made a tremendous impact. And it was a major talking point once the thing wrapped up. Kornet came in after Porzingis got hurt and ate a lot of extra minutes. And he was really, really solid in doing so. Even Nemi, he's somebody that they're going to need next season as Porzingis misses the first 2-3 months of the year to eat up minutes when Horford needs rest. Like, all of these guys are worth bringing back. It's not even just a name thing. It's oh my gosh, these guys are going to contribute.
Yeah, and I mean, back to the point you made that Noah tweeted out, like Michael Pina had something similar. He said, one thing I've heard and been told repeatedly about last year's Celtics is that their locker room was one of the most supportive and placid that anyone involved had ever been a part of. Keeping it together clearly matters to that front office and the coaching staff. Like, these guys just get along really well. And it feels like the front office wanted to make it a point to say, yeah, we're going to bring them all back because it worked last year and they clearly like each other. And so to hear this and to see this reported speaks volumes, I think. And shout out to Brad Stevens for getting it done. You mentioned the highlights. We can watch some of Xavier Tillman as we chat. I mean, the switching defense, the potential 3-point shot, just his ability to rebound, to defend. I don't want to say 5 positions, but switch onto a lot of guys is huge for the Celtics team. And I mean, you can see the vision moving forward. I mean, I've said it a million times, said it when the trade happened. I'm really high on Xavier Tillman. I think he's awesome. Still only 25, despite looking like a 90-year-old man.
He's got old man face. It's tough,
does.
but not like the same kind of old man face where your mouth's just hanging open, but he just looks like an old guy.
He does. Shout out to him for talking to the bench a little bit. Had to stare down Markieff Morris once he hit the shot. See you later, bozo. Big minutes. Like, these were huge minutes in this game I wrote about. We can watch some of his other highlights too as we chat. Obviously, got to watch the one where he hit the game of the season.
This was probably our favorite game of the year, where we hopped on the StreamYard afterwards, and it was just us giggling the whole time. It was very polarizing in the comments too, because half the people were
one?
like, "Yeah, this is it." They only.
Game? Oh yeah, the starters built a big lead. The bench blew it, and then they still won. I remember now. Yes.
Yeah. Because the Sacramento Kings only come to town once a year, so this is the game. But
yeah,
Xavier Tillman making the only game winner for the Celtics in this entire championship season is hysterical. Going back to what you said about, he's only 25. Tillman is somebody who could play a key role in the Celtics in the final Wick years. If they elect to keep him, if he elects to stay, if his game comes along a little bit, because he has the size and the athleticism to be a versatile defender, a switchable defender, somebody who can guard pick and rolls and not really be a liability on that end of the floor. He also has an incredible form when it comes to shooting. He doesn't quite knock him down at the highest rate just yet, but he could get there, and he finishes around the basket pretty well. So all of these things combined make for a good 3-and-D role player who could guard bigger bodies if needed.
Yeah.
He's not there yet.
No. Jake and I have the bet 38% from three is our bet on at least 100 attempts. So 38 of 100 threes, at least 38% on at least 100 attempts. That's our bet. I don't know what we bet, but that is the gamble that I made with him. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the PrizePicks community. If you're looking for promotions, PrizePicks has got you covered every single week. From lowering select player stats projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Sam and I use PrizePicks all season long. You guys saw it before all of the pregame shows, but now it's the offseason, so we got to find some other things. Take a look at the Red Sox. Jarren Duran. Never know. He's been pretty good. Might as well take a look at his hits. You look at Caitlin Clark, the WNBA. You look at Alyssa Thomas, the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun, right there. The points. More or less, who knows? They're pretty good this year. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. I just think he's a good player, man. He can work out of the short roll really well. He's a smart player. He defends really well. He can switch on 5 positions. Comfortable letting him guard guards. Comfortable letting him guard centers. He can stay in space. He's a big body. Like, he can hustle really well. I mean, you're about to see him hit a nasty game winner, which is super fun too. He's just good, man.
Game ever.
He's just a very, very smart basketball player. And as much as the memes are, oh, he looks like Al Horford, which he kind of does. He plays like Al Horford, and that's awesome. Like, that's such a cool thing. I don't want to say he's definitely going to be Al Horford, but as he hits the game winner, but you can see the vision for him potentially being Al Horford and filling that role for the Celtics, especially considering Al's already 38 years old. Like, he's not getting any younger. Very opposite. I think Tillman's going to play big minutes next year. I think and hope he'll get the most minutes out of that big man rotation. I think they're going to give a lot to Keita as well because he's young. But, like, you can see a vision there. Like, this is my thing, right? I think Kornet is still probably... I think him and Tillman have, I don't want to say equal trust, because I think Kornet still has a little bit of trust there. De'Aaron Fox should have made that shot too, and Keegan Murray should have made that one. And that should have been a foul.
Remember when we went on Reddit and we just saw the Kings subreddit, the screenshot of the absolute clobbering their player took at the rim?
Yes. Yes. What I was saying, though, I think Luke Kornet probably has the most trust right now, but I think Tillman is almost there, and Nimi can get there. And if those things happen, like, let's say everything works out in a perfect world, you can see a world where Xavier Tillman is playing the Al Horford role, and you can see a world where Nimi Ishketa is playing real, like, big minutes for this team moving down the court. So, like, they're investing. Like, I think it speaks volumes that Kornet got a 1-year deal, and Tillman got a 2-year deal, and Nimi got a 3-year deal. Like they trust these guys. They like these guys. Not that Luke Kornet won't be a part of the team moving forward, but it feels like Luke Kornet is much more suited for the backup role, and Luke Kornet is how old? He's 28. 28, going to turn 29 in July. Much more suited for the backup role, but you could see Tillman and Keita growing into a space where they could be spot starters. They could be a starter if Al Horford goes out. They could be a starter if Kristaps Porzingis gets hurt. Like, you can see them growing into that, and it's good for Luke Kornet to be around and be a backup, but you can see potential for more for these guys. And I mean, I just think Tillman is the exact type of player that you want around if you're going to play a switching style of defense. The Celtics really love that, and it really works for them.
Yeah, and with Tillman, you mentioned the Horford angle. I think if you're the Celtics, you have to turn your attention to that more than anything. That is your next big task, is finding the player who is going to eat those minutes and fill in that spot. It's not going to be a perfect 1-to-1 comparison, but you can't lose too much there, because with Porzingis' injury history, you need somebody to be able to step up and be a reliable guy when he's not able to play, or even if he needs load management, whatever they decide to do with him. And Tillman seems to be very well equipped to just be solid, as do the other two big guys. The great thing about this core is they all have similar yet different skill sets. They have strengths where they can all defend, but Tillman's offensive game is different than Kornet's, which is different than Keita's. You need to evaluate these guys over the next season or two. You mentioned the contract length being a little bit of a telltale sign of what the team probably thinks. And I think that's a good point. But like watching the patience he has underneath here, you don't see that from Kata. Kata probably jumps at the second or third loony pump fake if he gets that far without biting at the first one, right? You need his discipline. You need his lateral quickness to get you a switchable defense. Because when we were in the playoffs watching these games, seeing them be able to just call, okay, yeah, we're going to switch, it felt like it unlocked something on defense that you didn't get with any other big guy out there.
Yes. Sorry, I thought it was a pause.
Okay. Understand.
I agree. I really like Tillman, man. I think he's going to be a huge part of this team moving forward. I just realized this is the Warriors game where they blew him up by 15, put J King on the Jumbotron. I think that's awesome. That's top 3 funniest moment of the season. Like that was insane to see in real time. Like J King, he didn't even know what's happening too. You just see him like shaking his head, mad at the wave. Svi with the super cool lob. I don't want to get like egregious. Like I don't want to say dumb stuff, but I think Xavier Tillman is going to be a much better basketball player than what a minimum contract indicates. Like this
best
guy
contract in the league.
This guy can switch. The 3-point shot is coming along. He needs to work on his finishing around the basket. It's always going to be undersized, but like I don't think his 3-point shot ever gets to the point of Horford, but I think it gets a lot closer than people think. And his defense is already like genuinely, do you think Xavier Tillman's switching defense, like perimeter defense, is better than this stage of Al Horford's career? Like,
I don't think so just yet.
I do.
I don't think so because I think Horford had a lot of great switchable moments throughout this playoff run, even on the smaller guys. Like
he did, but he also got killed. I don't think Tillman got killed nearly as much.
Well, he wasn't out there nearly as much, and he was out there against bigger bodies. Like Tillman really didn't even play in the first couple rounds.
Yes, and I think Horford did a good job against Luka, obviously. Or excuse me, Horford. Yeah, I said Horford.
He did. They both did.
I think
both a better
forward,
matchup for him too.
If it's not right now, I think it'll happen quickly next season. And that's not. I mean, this isn't a knock at Horford. Horford's 38. Like I'm not expecting it. This isn't. I'm not saying this as like Horford's defense is bad. I'm saying like I think Tillman is that good of a perimeter defender. I don't think he's as good of a post defender nearly as Horford yet. He'll need to like work on that. I think he's a good post defender, like you said, the patience. But I also think he's a little bit smaller.
It's not going to exactly handle Embiid the same.
No,
way.
If that 3-point shot comes around to like a 38% rate, which I think it will, this is going to be another. How the fuck did this happen? Like how did this? Like I truly think that. I believe that. And 2 second-round picks was enough to get it done. And I think we're going to see Tillman get like a $10 million deal after his current contract's up.
Hey gang, let me tell you a little something about Game Time. Now that the NBA season has come to a close, you got to get yourself out to an MLB game this summer. You want to go to Fenway, you want to go to your local ballpark. Game Time is going to get you there. They are an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes tickets easy to get. Prices on Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. Who doesn't love using it? I sure do. I used my Game Time app to get my dad tickets for Father's Day, and I got a fantastic deal. It's so easy to use. Again, you can get those last minute deals. They have flash deals and zone deals. It's easy. You can take a look at your seats on the app to see what the view is going to be like before you get there. You don't want to get stuck behind a pole. I'll tell you, that happened to me once. It was not fun. Again, last minute deals are fantastic on Game Time. You can save up to 60% off buying those last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier. The trust. Joe Mazzulla is going to have an extra year of having this guy on the team. And we kind of saw what it did for players like Pritchard and Hauser this playoff run. Joe had a year of observing them, of coaching them, of working with them. And then by the time the postseason rolled around, he was comfortable playing them in the big spots. Tillman only showed up at the deadline. He didn't have as much experience with this team. And it was clear that Joe was hesitant to put them out there instead of somebody like Kornet who had been there. And with an entire summer to work on his game, prepare to be in the role he's going to be with the Celtics, I really do feel like you're on the right page where it's like there's a ton to be excited about. If you're like in the weeds basketball Celtics nerds like us, like that's super exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I keep saying the same shit. Tillman rocks. I love him. He's also like, again, the kindest person. Like
I meant to mention that.
Yeah, just the coolest dude. Like I had a conversation. I was fortunate enough to have just like a normal like 10-minute conversation with him at media day. And it was just like I was talking to one of my friends. Like it was just the most normal thing. Again, I forget that he's 25. He also has 3 kids, so like we're at very different stages of life. But it was just like I was like, "Yeah, how's the traffic been? Get used to it." He goes, "Fuck no!" Like, no, I have not gotten used to it. It sucks. It's terrible. But clearly, it wasn't enough to dissuade him from re-signing with the Celtics. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. You got anything else?
If we run into him ever, have to ask him if he gets sick of X gonna give it to you.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't get that much. I don't see it a lot in general, like in Celtics fandom.
X gonna give it to you is his version of Sam I Am. It's the same thing.
I've never.
Definitely
Is that like a family thing? Like, do people in your family call you Sam I Am or something?
Anybody, like older people, like if I'm like meeting them, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm Sam." They're like, Sam I Am." Yeah, like
yes.
I'm sure he gets that quite a bit. We'll
Jack
see.
Attack. I get Jack Attack.
You get Jack Attack. Ugh.
It will like it. That's like the equivalent.
Worst.
It's like the equivalent. I can't remember last time someone said, but like that feels like the equivalent of what it would be. Anyways, I think that about does it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It is wild that they got all 3 of these centers on minimum contracts that could like play significant roles. Like these guys are going to have to play with Kristaps out and now Horford missing back-to-backs, like you mentioned. On the
well,
other
that's probably
episode.
part of the selling point. Maybe
Exactly.
they trade one of them.
Yeah, I guess good for the Celtics, man. Good for Brad Stevens. Got him to stick around. Like you mentioned, surprising that they convinced them all to stick around. You're going to have what 13 out of the 15 roster spots at the very least look exactly the same heading into next season. That's crazy. That doesn't happen. That's not normal. Wait, no. 13 out of 15. Did I do the math right? Because it would be the top. Yes, the top 8 plus Kata, Cornette, Tillman. That's 11. Am I doing math right? Hold up. I'm feel like brain dead right now.
I don't know what you're trying to get at.
How many of the last year's top like 15 rosters are back next year?
Everyone not named Svi and O'Shea right now.
So that's 13. Yep. Sorry. Okay. Yes. I forgot about Jordan Walsh and Jaden Springer. I was like, I'm missing 2 players in my head, but those are 2 players I was missing.
It's easier to go with the guys that aren't back and you get your answer.
Yes. I know. I knew the answer. I was just like, then why is the math not mathing? Because I was like trying to add up the players that are on the team. And then the 3 two-way spots are going to be open. It feels like Drew Peterson will probably be back because he just got there halfway through last season. Unsure about JD Davison because he's like, I don't want to say it's run its course, but like, you don't really know. But yeah, shout out to Celtics, man. Shout out Brad. Love Xavier Tillman. Very excited. And Jake Eisenberg. Our bet is on, brother. It's officially on. He's back. Appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like. Check out the shorts. Posted one yesterday. Don't know how consistent they'll be. That one, like little insight. That one short, little 30 seconds took me like 40 minutes to edit. So don't know how consistent they will be, but I'll try to get them up. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads coming at you with videos like this, full pods Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and other videos in between to keep you busy. You can also find us doing streams on the channel. If you hit the bell, you won't miss them. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Tell us what you think of the Tillman signing. You can also find all of our pods and game recaps when the season's on Spotify and Apple. If you follow us there, they go right into your feed. You can leave a 5-star review. We would appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We'll take your Tillman thoughts. We'll take your rat list. We'll take your last 2 roster spot wish list, guys. Whatever you want to send, we'll read it and we'll go into it. You can also find our socials at How About Them C's. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the pod. Streams are there. They're on YouTube and they're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is at Jack's1NBA. Mine is at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.
Tic-tac-toe.